Two U.S. warships sailing through the Taiwan Strait. Overhead, more Chinese fighter jets are crossing the unofficial divide between China and Taiwan. More joint military drills, this time between Russia and China. With those kicking off, the U.S. and Japan are launching their own field training. Flooding and heavy rain coming to wash away China's extended heat wave. But the perfect storm of conditions presents an even bigger threat. Protests breaking out in China. Internet videos show residents venting against local lockdown measures and mass virus testing. And a human rights documentary going to the Oscars. It's nominated for Best International Film, the first submission of its kind. Welcome to China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer. Two U.S. Navy warships sailed through international waters in the Taiwan Strait on Sunday, the first since U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. Beijing claims the self-ruled Taiwan as its own territory and takes issue with any actions that suggest support for the island as separate from mainland China. The U.S. Navy confirmed the Chancellorsville and the Antietam cruisers were carrying out the ongoing operation. A White House official called the ship's passage through the Taiwan Strait as very consistent with Washington's One China policy and efforts to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific. A day after the vessels passed through the strait, China's foreign ministry urged the U.S. to avoid being what it called a troublemaker. At the same time, Taiwan says China is still carrying out military activities in the waters surrounding it. The island's defense ministry detected 23 Chinese aircraft operating around Taiwan on Sunday. That's including 7 that crossed the median line of the Taiwan Strait. That's the dividing line that acts as an unofficial barrier between the two sides. As of Monday, the number of Chinese fighter jets that has crossed the median line rose to 12. Chinese army units have arrived in Russia's Far East ahead of joint military drills. The military exercises are dubbed the Vostok 2022. They're set to begin Thursday, September 1st, and will span 1 week. Participants include Russia, China, India, Belarus, and Tajikistan. Earlier this month, China's defense ministry said its participation was part of its cooperation agreement with Russia. Last month, Moscow announced plans to hold the Vostok exercises. It noted that some foreign forces would join in, but didn't name them. Over in the Indo-Pacific, another drill is heating up. Known as the Japan Orient Shield 22, the exercise kicked off its opening ceremony on Saturday. It's the largest field training exercise between the U.S. Army and Japan's Ground Self-Defense Force. The exercises will be held throughout Japan. China has ramped up military activities since U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan last month. Beijing sent 12 fighter jets across the Taiwan Strait median line on Monday. That line marks an unofficial barrier between China and Taiwan. China's months-long heat wave may be coming to an end, but what follows may not be the relief residents are hoping for. China's Central Weather Observatory issued a heavy rain warning Monday. It covers areas in southern and central China and could mean flood conditions are on their way. The advisory also includes Chongqing City, which was plagued by severe drought over the last 2 months. This as high temperatures are still scorching most of southeastern China. The intense heat wave has been roasting the country's Yangtze River basin for more than 2 months. It's already set a record for its duration and geographic scope. People across nearly 530,000 square miles are suffering under temperatures exceeding 104 degrees Fahrenheit. That's an area as large as Texas, Colorado, and California combined. The highest recorded temperatures there soar to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Resulting drought conditions have also hit the region's hydropower generation. To make up for the lacking electricity, 67 coal-driven power plants have had to return to operation. A number of forest fires have also been sparked. This year, August rainfall is down 60% compared to the seasonal norm, putting the fall harvest in jeopardy. On top of that, more elderly people have been admitted to hospitals, suffering from heat-related health issues. But as the seasons begin to shift, parts of China may be in for a different kind of issue. On Monday, flooding was caught on camera in the southwestern city of Chengdu. Torrential rain in the mountainous area also caused mudslides. But it's the combination of drought then rain that poses the biggest danger. With crops and other vegetation shriveling under intense heat, plant roots no longer hold soil in place. That means when the heavy rains do arrive, the loose soil will be more prone to getting washed away. Reports from China's southwestern Chongqing say residents are protesting local lockdown orders. In a video circulating online, locals are seen taking to the streets, shouting, "Remove the lockdown." Security guards were deployed to the site. The video's caption said more than 1,000 residents joined the Saturday protest. By the end, local authorities removed the community's lockdown mandate. A similar demonstration appeared in the city of Shenzhen. There, crowds of people were heard shouting, "Stop the lockdown." The protest not only took issue with lockdown requirements, but also to China's wide-reaching virus test mandates. In another video from last week, a large crowd in Chongqing City came out to oppose mass virus testing. NTD held its 7th traditional Chinese martial arts competition in New York on Sunday. There, dozens of participants from around the world showcased their kung fu skills. But the gold medals have not yet been awarded. Let's take a look.
The 7th NTD International Traditional Chinese Martial Arts Competition took place over 3 days and concluded on Sunday in Middletown, New York. 48 competitors from around the world took part in 7 categories. One of them is a father and son duo from Colombia, who both won silver.
We wake up at 3 in the morning and begin practicing martial arts from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. It's been this way pretty much since I was born. We pay a lot of attention to our spiritual cultivation. That's why we've been able to do martial arts well, because our spirit and body are one.
Another silver medalist is Lin Chi-Hyun from Taiwan, who participated in the Southern Fist category.
A competition like this one makes us confident that we are traveling in the right direction, and that we are willing to keep trying our best and pass on this martial art.
The competition aims to revive traditional Chinese martial arts and display their true value to the world. Chris Chappell, the host of China Uncensored, also participated as a contestant. A fan of traditional Chinese culture, he's been learning martial arts since a young age. Chappell won the Award of Excellence this year and shared the biggest lesson he learned about traditional martial arts.
The biggest lesson I've learned from particularly Chinese-style traditional martial arts is they have a saying in ancient China, the soft overcomes the hard. I think you've probably heard of it. And I think a lot of times in life we learn that anger or rage, those are, a type of strength that we can use to get through hard times. But it's a very dangerous emotion because then that can turn on people closest to you, family, friends. But in Chinese martial arts you learn that strength can come through tranquility and peace. And that's a much bigger, broader form of strength.
The competition has 4 award categories: gold, silver, bronze, and excellent. This year, 25 competitors won bronze, 9 won silver, but no one qualified for gold.
We've had this kind of situation in every past competition. If the folks don't meet the standard for gold, we leave the medals unawarded. This would also encourage the folks. If they come back in future competitions and show improvement, that spot is open for them.
The judge says it's unfortunate that no one qualified for gold this year, but that he hopes they will be able to hand out the Golden Award next year. The traditional Chinese martial arts competition is a part of a series of international culture and arts events organized by NTD.
The award-winning animated documentary Eternal Spring is going to the Oscars. Canada selected the film as its submission for Best International Film last week. NTD's Jeremy Sandberg spoke with the film's director.
Eternal Spring will be the first ever animated, documentary, and Mandarin language entry from Canada for an Academy Award. It tells the story of a group of Falun Gong practitioners in China who tapped into a state TV signal in 2002. Their goal was to set the record straight by countering the Chinese communist regime's narrative and misinformation about the practice.
We did our best to try and capture that spirit of hope that they carried, and we hope that Chinese people can be inspired by that.
Falun Gong, also known as Falun Dafa, is a spiritual practice that has been heavily persecuted in China since 1999. The Chinese Communist Party has run massive propaganda campaigns to turn Chinese citizens against Falun Gong. The regime has also committed horrendous human rights abuses that include forced labor, torture, and live organ harvesting. During production of Eternal Spring, the Chinese Communist regime began applying pressure on filmmaker Jason Loftus and his family.
My wife's family, who is in Northeast China, was contacted by the Public Security Bureau there and given threats, warned that they knew what we were up to overseas.
Loftus was working on a video game for Tencent, a Chinese video game publisher with ties to the Chinese regime. The company suddenly dropped distribution of the game because of his work on the film. He says despite any consequences, it didn't feel right to look the other way when so many people in China had already sacrificed so much to get their story out.
If we all just kind of say, well, someone else will handle this story, it's difficult, then what ends up happening is that no one tackles those stories. And I think really important stories that we need to know about just don't get told.
The film has resonated with audiences and juries at several film festivals and has won multiple awards already.
There's some challenges perhaps in tackling stories like this, but I think there's many, many people who feel that it's important, especially at this time, that we shine a light on these issues in China.
The film's internationally renowned illustrator Da Xiong has worked on comics like Star Wars and DC's Justice League. He escaped China after being imprisoned and tortured for his beliefs. He was part of the group involved in tapping into state TV.
So you see the role that art plays in his own process of facing some trauma and facing his nostalgia and his longing for his hometown. And we see how art can help us to reach a new understanding about events and how it can help us to gain some type of catharsis.
Loftus says regardless of the film's success in North America, it's most important to him if people in China can see it as well.
There's a lot of people who are in China who made great sacrifices to be able to tell this story because they cared not just about their own individual situations, but about all of the Chinese people who are living under the same circumstances, and they wish for a better future.
The film's theatrical release in Canada will be on September 23rd. It hits theaters in the US on October 14th. The 2023 Oscars take place on March 12th. Jeremy Sandberg, NTD News.
That's all for today's China in Focus on YouTube. We're now sharing a shortened version of our program here after being demonetized for more than a year. Here's what to look out for in our second half. China has developed a quantum computer.
Such a device will be able to wipe out any kind of encryption that currently exists today in order to extract whatever kind of data, classified or otherwise, that it wants to get its access to.
But what does that really mean? And is your digital footprint still safe? We sat down with Arthur Herman, the director of Quantum Alliance Initiative, for answers. The full episode is available on our partner platform, Epoch TV. To sign up, click the link down below. Thanks for watching China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer, and see you tomorrow.
The 2022 NTD 8th International Chinese Vocal Competition will be held from September 29th to October 2nd at the Merkin Hall of Kaufman Music Center in New York City. The competition is honored to have specially invited vocalists with the world-renowned Shen Yun Performing Arts to serve on its panel of judges. The gold award is $10,000. For more information, please visit vocal.ntdtv.com.